Can I just say that
That's just
I feel so overwhelmed by Harry and Meghan shoving themselves down our throats that I feel like the balance that the Prince and Princess of Wales currently have is perfect.
So Meghan and Harry are facing their biggest crisis yet. A beauty blogger banned from their $3,000 retreat while their own charity sues them for sabotage. This isn't just royal drama anymore. It's a masterclass in how controlled media strategies collapse when real accountability arrives. Let's break this down.
I don't see too much of them. I see enough of them. I don't see too much of them. When I do see them, I'm pleasantly surprised. At Easter, I was so excited to see them. And it's like that mystique that we constantly talk about, that the royal family navigates so well, that there's some mystery there. So we wonder and we're curious and we care. Whereas Harry and Meghan show popping up at a Netflix party with Ted Sarandos, like we're like, could you two keep your asses at home? Who's watching
uh,
your kids? You know what I mean?
This hits the core psychological principle of scarcity creating value. William and Catherine understand that mystery generates genuine interest. People actually got excited seeing them at Easter precisely because they don't oversaturate. Meanwhile, showing up at Netflix parties while your kids are home sends the opposite message entirely.
Well, Meghan took the Queen's advice about needing to be seen to an extreme, okay? Because like you said, she's heading to Australia. God love us. God save Australia. And one beauty influencer claims she was disinvited from Meghan Markle's retreat over her media history, over writing in the past about boots like that are perfect for your calves and the best new blow dryers.
The Queen's advice to be seen meant strategic, meaningful appearances serving the monarchy's purpose. What we're seeing now is the complete opposite. Commercial ventures masquerading as royal duty. The Australia retreat charging premium prices while implementing Soviet-level media blackouts shows how far they've strayed from authentic public service.
So her name, or so it says, a beauty influencer claims she was abruptly refunded and disinvited from Meghan Markle's struggling Sydney wellness retreat after organizers discovered she had worked in media. Her name is Ariana, and she appeared in lifestyle segments for Australia's Seven News. She said she was booted despite paying for a personal ticket to attend as a fan, even though the event isn't sold out. And she gave some examples of previous work, and it's literally like, these boots are cute. I love this new blow dryer that's available for purchase now. It's not Meghan Markle is the worst. It's not uh, any sort of hard-hitting, not that's not, I'm not being critical, but it's not like she's an investigative journalist that they're trying to protect Meghan Markle from. Does this surprise you, this media blackout to such an extreme for Meghan Markle's retreat?
This media blackout exposes fundamental insecurity. Confident public figures welcome press coverage because they have nothing to hide. When you're banning lifestyle bloggers who review hair dryers, you're essentially admitting your product can't withstand even the gentlest scrutiny. That's a business model built on fear.
You, um, just to that point, did you see the leaked like Q&A that Harry and Meghan's publicist put together before the trip? And it says specifically like no walkabouts. And
yeah.
everybody's interpreting that as they know realistically the honeymoon phase is over. And they're saying no walkabouts because they don't want somebody like you or I to be like, look, no one showed up for them.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to say, well, no, we warned people, no walkabouts.
Walkabouts are the ultimate popularity test. Real people, real reactions, no script. Their 2018 Australia tour drew massive crowds organically. Now they're preemptively avoiding them because they know the enthusiasm has evaporated. That strategic decision alone tells you everything about their current standing.
It's
And yeah, and
they're very careful in the way too when they do these faux royal tours where they take one assigned reporter,
Yeah.
typically from People Magazine or Harper's Bazaar. It's a respectable publication that is good to them and gives them nice, glossy stories. And that person is expected to report out to everybody else what they've seen that day. You talk about the extent of control that they try to have over these things, and it's it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Somebody's going to capture a moment that's, where Harry and Meghan look tense, or there's just, go
Yeah,
ahead. Oh, yeah. Oh,
what I'm
cell
going to
phone. Yeah.
you see my point is, what are the people? Will they be told to hand in their cell phones?
I'm sure at
Are
the
they,
retreat. I'm sure at the retreat, yes, because they say that
yeah,
there's supposed to be no recording or anything. And I'm like,
yeah,
if I'm paying $3,000, I need to be able to document what I've just experienced for
yeah.
$3,000.
This controlled media strategy is the opposite of legitimate royal engagement. Real royals face unfiltered press because their work speaks for itself. Charging people $3,000, then restricting their basic rights as consumers, shows they're running a luxury scam, not a meaningful experience.
You're probably going to hear the
Yeah.
damn soap story, ladies. For
Yeah.
$3,000, you're going to hear the damn soap story all over
Yeah.
again. And poor Rodney King, he's going to be like, what do they say? Your ears, when your ears are itchy, it's because someone's
Yeah.
talking about you. Poor Rodney King's going to be like, is Meghan Markle talking about me again?
Oh,
The recycled soap story perfectly captures the problem. They're charging premium prices for stale content because they're not actually doing meaningful work that generates fresh insights. Real thought leaders constantly evolve their message through ongoing service. This is just expensive nostalgia.
The charity seeks the court's intervention, protection, and restitution following a coordinated adverse media campaign conducted since March 25th, 2025, that has caused operational disruption and reputational harm to the charity, its leadership, and its strategic partners, Senabale said Friday in a statement on its website. A spokesperson for Harry said the pair, him and his friend that are getting in trouble for libel, said that the pair categorically reject these offensive and damaging claims. The latest is the Charity Commission said it has been engaging with trustees at Cinnabale after being notified of its intention to sue Harry. It said it was seeking to understand how the legal action would further their charity's purpose. Man, Dr. Sophie Shandaka is a tough cookie. How Prince Harry thought he could go up against her truly blows my mind.
Dr. Sophie Chandauka is a formidable HIV specialist who's dedicated her career to helping children. When someone of her caliber decides to sue the charity's own founder, that's not a publicity stunt. That's a serious professional taking a principled stand against alleged sabotage.
This would be the first time Harry didn't instigate something where his words and actions would be challenged and he would have to answer for them. He's never had to do that before. Calls the royal family racist. Then, when he's challenged with it by Tom Bradby, says, I didn't do that. No, the
mm,
media did that. When Anderson Cooper asked him why he still uses his title. He didn't want to answer. He said, why shouldn't I? Why does it matter? Like, this would be the first time he would be forced to answer questions
mm.
and be held
Ah,
accountable.
Legal proceedings don't allow for the usual deflection tactics. No softball questions, no sympathetic interviewers, no walking away when challenged. If this goes to court, he'll face cross-examination under oath, something he's successfully avoided for years through carefully controlled media appearances.
Sophie Shandaka claims that Harry went behind her back and was talking to existing fundraisers or our existing donors. While she was trying to fundraise, Harry was going behind her back to existing donors and convincing them not to give her money because he was saying, inevitably, I'm going to get her out. But he wanted her to look bad at her job so that he could force her out. But creating this conflict, and if I'm a donor, I don't have time for this drama. I don't have time for
No.
this BS. And I'm taking my money elsewhere because this just looks messy. And I don't know who would come out a winner in this scenario. But if there is proof, emails, texts, voicemails, if there is proof that Harry was working behind her back, then when she was telling Sky, I believe, that he was trying to sabotage his own charity, it appears so, in my opinion, if you are telling people not to donate because you just don't like Dr. Sophie.
Allegedly, sabotaging a charity serving HIV-positive children is unconscionable. These aren't abstract donors. Real kids depend on this funding for life-saving treatment. If documentary evidence proves he undermined fundraising out of personal spite, that's a level of callousness that would shock even his critics.
I think Harry's team would advise him on a settlement to ensure that there are no embarrassing headlines or I mean, I think that Harry does not want to be put in the position of having to answer questions. He never does. He's avoided it for
Yeah.
6 years.
His entire post-royal strategy depends on controlling the narrative through friendly media. Legal testimony under oath destroys that advantage completely. His team knows that depositions and cross-examinations would expose the gaps between his public claims and documented reality.
And Rupert and I are probably going to overwhelm you with Sussex content next week because they're going to be out in the wild.
This Australia trip will be fascinating to watch against this legal backdrop. All their media control tactics will be on full display while serious allegations hang over them. The contrast between their manufactured image management and real accountability couldn't be starker.